walk up with the squeeze play, it's got to be exactly how you draw it up, right?
Any way we can get it. Mitch is not one of our better bunters, but he had a good day bunting today, and Coach Waz pushed that button. I had nothing to do with it. It's an exciting play when it's executed, and it's something that between our coaching staff and players, we invest a lot of time in the back control and bunting game, and to have that weapon available in that situation and execute it, obviously a good thing.
Considering that and how much you guys work on it, was that kind of an easy call to make? I don't want to downplay it, but is it almost common sense for Oregon baseball in that situation?
I think it's probably a high percentage success play, but if it backfires and you're kind of going, why'd you do that? And the guy's our fourth hole hitter, and he's a pretty good hitter. And if the other team pitches out and they get a cheap out that way, then you're kind of going, darn. The one thing in that game that really was the second guess, I really feel good. I know you guys were talking to Jake. He pitched extremely well. Leadoff walk and then a catcher's interference. And then probably the crummiest pitch he threw the entire day was the two-strike pitch to Reguera that he squirted through the middle of the field. The home run was a tough one. I called the pitch. He executed almost perfectly, and Ringo, as smart as he is, was sitting on it, and his ability to hook that over the 325 was pretty impressive to me. And I was kicking myself in the rear end because that's the one pitch probably, besides the slider coming into a swing, that he could get over the short porch, and he's certainly capable of doing that. So besides the victory and the sweep and the obvious, the way the game ended, I felt good that Jake got off the hook and had a no decision because he pitched awfully well.
Going back to the bunt, was his ability to bunt earlier in the game, at least twice, he got it down nicely. Was that factored into calling such a play like that at the end?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Just like if you're a basketball coach and it's the last 10 seconds and guys had a pretty good shooting night and you kind of draw up a play to give him the ball, and the fact that Mitch made bunting look very easy early probably increased the chance that Coach Waz thought he could be successful there. And it was like, we have a saying, is it, oh no, I have to bunt, or is it, oh boy, I get to bunt? It looked like he was, oh boy, I get to bunt. And had he not done so well early in the game, it might have been, oh no, and then pops it up in a double play or something like that. So I'm sure it had, Coach Waz is an awfully sharp coach, and he adds up a lot of details and the percentages in his mind, and that's why I trust him running the offense. He does a great job at it.
The play before, Ryan stepping up and hitting that double to tie the game, he's been obviously so good this season. How much confidence did you have in him heading into that spot?
You could just feel the energy. Well, obviously we're trying to scrape. The real surprising at bat in that inning for me was JJ jumping out of the way of the first pitch to him. I think we were all in shock when that happened because none of our guys do that. And I don't know, in the heat of battle, he just must have reacted that way. Then we're trying to get on to set the table for Healy, the guy that we trust the most, and drew 2 good walks. And Lindquist has been going pretty good for him. Actually, right before that pitch, all of us sending energy, I said to the guy standing next to me, he's going to hit this ball hard somewhere. I just hope it goes in an alley or over the fence, and it happened to go right down the third baseline.
When it comes down to selection time in about a month here, you can look back on this series as a pretty big one to get, especially all 3.
Yeah, maybe. We've still got 3 weekends left of hard work. Washington State's been tough on us. The worst thing that we could do is get so busy taking pats on the back for this that we don't get back to business against Seattle and keep the momentum going. And Pullman's a tough place to win for us and anybody else. And if we take care of business in the last 9 games, the last 3 series just get more exciting. And it could play a big factor in earning the right to host regionals and super regionals. On paper, it looks like our series with the Beavers is going to be cool and fun and packed and everything that you hope baseball in the Northwest is about. We have to stay in the hunt with Washington State and make that a big series, and then we have a tough. We'll have to finish at Utah instead of ending with the Beavers. So it sets the table, I guess, is the best way to answer your question. That if we handle our end of the bargain in the stretch drive here, that this could be a very important weekend.
On Friday night after the game, you referred to kind of beating the big boys in the series and said that walk-off win wouldn't matter if Stanford came back and won the next two. You get not only the first series win over a ranked team, but you get a sweep over them this season. What does this mean, sweeping one of the big boys?
Well, the Stanford program I have great respect for. Coach Marcus, Coach Stotts. We go way back. When I was at Fullerton as the assistant and head coach, we'd open the season with them each and every year. And in many years, what happened early in the year, sometimes the reverse would happen at the end of the year. And either through a regional or in Omaha, we'd meet each other again. So we have a great history with them and great admiration for them. And yes, we have swept them before, but that's not an easy task. And whether we're in the hunt, they're in the hunt, big boys, whatever this team, anytime you can beat a program like Stanford, all 3 games at your place or their place, it's a great accomplishment. No matter how you got it done, that's not an easy chore. And there's been some years they had their way with us. Ironically, when I was the head coach at Fullerton, I think, I don't know what my record against Stanford was, but it was the worst out of anybody in the country. And since we've come up here, ironically, we haven't been as prominent as the Fullerton program was yet here. But we've done pretty well against Stanford for some reason. It's kind of weird. So, like whether it's a 1-game win or a 3-game sweep against Stanford, because of the admiration and the respect I have for them, I feel really good.
I know you guys pride yourselves on kind of next pitch, next at bat. The catcher's interference play could have been demoralizing to go from potential inning-ending double play to them tying the game, but you guys were able ultimately to bounce back from it. What does that say about your guys that they didn't get down after that play?
Yeah, we got stunned a little bit there, and then I went out to talk to Jake, whether we pitched to Reguera or pitched careful to him or walk in, we get to Wilson, and with those 2 big guys, you don't want to get too fancy. And he executed every single pitch except for the last one. So I think the stun of the catcher's interference was over by that point. We have no excuses. Jake got to it. He was equally as frustrated with the changeup the kid hit out because it was a perfect pitch. And so I thought, that was the only 2 spots really for Jake to be challenged and stunned. And there was a little bit of stun there and frustration. But he got us deep enough in the game where we could turn it over to our relief corps, and Club got a vulture win, as they say, and it's all good.
Good. How about pitching Tuesday?
We'll start Gold on Tuesday with the pitch count, and then kind of regroup and figure out who's going to pitch the rest of it, and then who starts on Wednesday as well.
Feel like you got enough though?
Yeah, it's a long trip, but we're taking a couple extra pitchers, and we should be okay. Goldie's fine now. He had a little tightness a couple weeks ago, and he could probably go as many as 60 pitches, I think. And we got enough guys that are throwing well out of the bullpen that I think we can figure out who's going to throw the 18 innings against Seattle. We still have them all ready for the weekend. We'll take 2 extra pitchers, and then they'll come home after the Seattle game because we can only take so many guys in league games.
Is Christian okay?
Yeah, he's fine. In fact, he's more than fine. He was actually asking if we wanted to start him in one of the Tuesday, Wednesday games. So that's real encouraging. He's all systems are go right now, knock on wood.
So we guys will bus up and
We're bussing, yeah. Well, we get to see some movies.
nice drive from Seattle to Pullman.
Yeah. But there's no easy fly to Pullman, even if we bus to Pullman from here, because it's still going to take 8 hours. I'd rather plop all my stuff on the bus and watch movies and do paperwork, so instead of getting on and off planes and that kind of stuff.